On today's show, the Dallas Mavericks get a bounce-back win against the New Orleans Pelicans, and Luka Doncic sets the tone.
Are the Mavs back? Are they back?
Everything's fine. Everything is perfect. And yeah.
This is a positive world.
On today's Locked On Mavs.
Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks podcast.
The Dallas Mavericks are NBA champions. Bang! Bang! It's good! And the Mavericks have won the game!
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
And welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and coordinator for the Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks for making Locked On Mavs your first listen every single day. Remember, Locked On Mavs is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. And joining me, as always, my co-host, contributor, writer at Mavs.com, the three-point shooting son, the one more thinking. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
All the Mavs are back. They're fully back.
They're back.
Some would even say that they're not boring. They were exciting. Bo Bunny's back. They were an exciting team. But you know what? I want to start off with something not about the game. Shout out to all the people today.
Oh, it was amazing.
Who tweeted at us that listened to the pod through Spotify. Now, listen, I get it that a lot of you guys watch on YouTube. You listen on Apple Podcast.
Thank you.
We could go all day that a lot of you guys listen on. I listen to my podcast on Overcast. Shout out to you guys. But a lot of you listen on Spotify, and so many of you. Should we do it now? Should we give some shout outs, or should we save it to the end?
We're saving the shout outs. I'm going to give one shout out at the beginning, but we'll say there's too many to do it right now. But there's
That's
one
true.
guy.
It'd be the whole first segment.
Tubby, Manny at Manny Main. Is
Tubby.
the leader in the clubhouse right now. Locked On Mavs was his number one podcast, his top podcast of the year on his Spotify Wrapped. He listened to 258 episodes.
Guys, we've dropped 276 episodes on the year. So that's only 18 that my boy Tubby or Manny has missed.
And he listened to 12,717 minutes of us on Spotify.
That math.
That's the leader in the clubhouse right now.
Equals 8 days and 8 hours. That if you just push play on the first pod on January 1st. And
we would not shut up for 8 days.
I think clearly he has listened to us more than our wives have listened to us about anything. There's no way my wife has listened to me for 12,000 minutes this year. There's no way. No
and
way.
We've both been together with our spouses for like 10 years, right? Like overall with dating and all that.
Yeah, there's no way on earth.
No, there's no way. All right, let's get into the game. The Dallas Mavericks get the win over the New Orleans Pelicans. A massive victory, a bounce back win for the Mavs, 139-107. Now, we're going to say a lot of really positive things about the Mavs today.
If you want to be negative, today is not the day. You just climb back into the cave.
This Pelicans team is not good.
Whoa! Bye, Nick.
I'm just qualifying
I would never say that.
I'm qualifying it at the beginning.
But I would never say this Pelicans.
The Mavs did need one of these games, and they took advantage. They took care of business. They've been doing this against teams that are bad. They've been taking care of business, and the reason why they did it in this game was Luka Doncic. He set the tone. He came in. First quarter, Luka Doncic, 18 points, 6 assists, 7 of 8 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, so that means he hit all of his twos. He had the 6 assists accounted for 13 points. He had assists to 5 different Mavericks, and he was responsible for 31 of the Mavs' 41 points, if you include the points and the assists. And the 2 of those other 10 points that Luka didn't account for were off of and ones from Porzingis and Dwight Powell that were passes from Luka. So
how many assists did he have in the first quarter?
6.
6 assists. So post game happens just a little bit ago, and Porzingis is asked just about the game. He wasn't even asked specifically about Luka Doncic. He starts off his whole post game presser and answer by saying, "Man, it starts with Luka had an incredible game." Praising Luka, and like getting the ball, shared around, the players, the team, and everything. Those 6 assists on top of Luka's performance, it literally, you tweeted after the game, it set the tone. You said it in your Locked On Now. If you guys are not, subscribed to Locked On, podcast network, the league wide one, is it Locked On NBA?
Locked On NBA YouTube
there you
channel.
go. then you need to follow that on Twitter, because you get these instant recaps to all the games. And Nick does such an incredible job recapping the Mavs games right after they happen. And you said it in that, like, Luka set the tone for the entire team, and he did. And Luka, Porzingis praised him after the game in that. So, they scored 41 points in the first quarter. They scored 41 points in the first half on Monday night against the Cavs. So, it was an incredible first quarter.
Incredible. So what was the difference? What was the difference in this game? They hit shots. It really does come down to this. We spent almost all of yesterday talking about how the 3-point shots changed so much. Jason Kidd had the quote after the Cavs game of, when our threes don't go down, we don't play transition defense, then we don't play half court defense and all that kind of stuff. And it just changes the way that this team plays when they're hitting shots. The Mavericks changed the starting lineup. We'll talk about that in a little bit and why that was a big change. But those guys that started hitting threes, changed the way they play defense, changed the way that they got out in transition. And then all of a sudden the Mavericks are hitting threes, and not only they're scoring points off the threes, but the countenance of the team changes. All of a sudden they just look like a different team. Then on top of that, the stuff around the rim starts opening up. Porzingis finished the game with, what did he finish with? 20 points, right? Yeah, 20 points. He was 9 of 15 from the field, and he missed 5 threes. So everything around the basket was going well for Porzingis. And he had a couple of alley-oops. He had a couple of putbacks. Like, everything was going well for him around the rim because the Mavs were spacing the floor. For this team, Jason Kidd all offseason was that we don't want to live and die by the three. Well, guess what? Here we are, living and dying by the three again.
They finished tonight with 139 points, and they attempted 34 threes. They hit 18 of them.
We haven't mentioned 68.7% from the field, franchise record, the highest field goal percentage in franchise history. Mark Fowler tweeted that out.
70% from the field in the first half. I'm like, what is going on with this team? And, they had 32 points in the paint at the end of the first half. And it's just that it was a testament that they were getting to the rim at ease. They were hitting, 53% from, behind the arc tonight with 18 threes. Luka set the tone with it, but man, everybody else was hitting shots too. Reggie Bullock, we'll talk about the starting lineup stuff, but Reggie Bullock tonight hit a couple threes. That first three hit in the first quarter. How proud were you? Like, I was like,
Bullock brigade, the Bullock band was ready. We were in it.
Yes.
I have to apologize that you felt that he should have played more.
We need the Jason Kidd December clip.
You know what? He only played 18 minutes in this game. Remember when I asked that comment? It was 17 minutes that he was playing.
Ooh,
he only played 18 minutes in this game.
He should have subtweeted you.
I have to apologize that you felt that he should have played more.
It's still funny.
You should have asked a question. Like, hey, Jason, I know.
What did you see from Reggie?
I know Reggie started tonight, but any reason he just played 18?
Yeah, what did you see from his 18 minutes tonight? His just 18 minutes. Just like that. But yeah, they hit their threes, and it changes everything. Luka has 14 assists. We've been waiting for this game for the Mavericks to hit a bunch of threes. Luka to rack up all the assists because they're getting these open shots. We said it yesterday. The Mavericks these are not bad shooters taking bad shots. These are historically good shooters taking wide open shots and just missing them. I think every player was asked, what's the difference between a game where the Mavs miss a bunch of threes and then a game like tonight where the Mavericks hit all their threes? I think every one of them said something along the lines of, Kidd, Porzingis, Tim Hardaway, and Luka said something along the lines of, nothing different. It's just make or miss league, basically. Sometimes, some nights the shots go in, and some nights they don't. And for a while there, none of the shots were going in for the Mavericks. And this game they did, and it changed everything.
Bobby tweeted after the game, Bobby Crawl, Mavs.com. He said, with this shooting performance tonight, the Mavericks jumped from, on their 3-point percentage as a team, 21st in the league at 33%. They moved up to 34% as a team, which moved them up to 17th in the league. They jumped up 4 spots in 3-point percentage, league wide after tonight. But it just goes to show you, like, on yesterday's pod, we went through ways this team can get better. And we ranked like the importance or how much we're worried about these different things. Secondary creator, big man, shooting right now, all this stuff. Shooting was at the bottom of the list because we rattled off the shooting percentages of these guys last season. Reggie Bullock, Sterling Brown, these guys that shot 40% to 44% basically. There was like 5 of these dudes on the team right now that they're all shooting beneath 40% right now. And it's like, it's just a matter of time. Like, a lot of these shots they're getting, the stats show you that they're getting the open shots. They're just not going down. So it's just a matter of time. Now watch, they'll go like 2 for 20 on threes, tomorrow in the first half. But it's like they can make shots. These are good shooters on this team.
Absolutely. Coming up, let's talk about the starting lineup. Why did Jason Kidd make the move? Why did he put Dwight Powell back in, put Moses Brown's butt back on the bench, and put Tim Hardaway on the bench as well? We'll talk about all that coming up. But before we do, let me tell you about Shopify. Shopify is your all-in-one commerce platform to start, run, and grow your business. In case you don't know, Shopify is a complete commerce platform that lets you start, grow, and manage a business. The subscription-based software allows anyone to set up an online store and sell their products. Shopify store owners can also sell in physical locations using Shopify's POS or point of sales app and accompanying hardware. So go check out Shopify. You can scale your business. It's a journey of endless possibility. Shopify helps you make your entrepreneurial dreams come true. We love how Shopify has the tools and resources to make it easy for any business to succeed from down the street to across the globe. Shopify right now powers over 1.7 million businesses. It's working for all of them. Try it yourself. Go to shopify.com/LockedOnNBA, all lowercase, for a free 14-day trial and get full access to Shopify's entire suite of features. If you have a business, go check it out. Grow your business with Shopify today. Go to shopify.com/LockedOnNBA right now. That's all lowercase. Shopify.com/LockedOnNBA. Also, I want to tell you about Truebill. Do you know why free trials renew without your consent? It's a business scam that they're trying to come out and get you. Truebill is a new app that helps you identify and stop paying for subscriptions you don't need, want, or simply forgot about. On average, people save up to $720 a year with Truebill. So you can get Truebill right now. And if you say, well, I don't have any subscriptions that I don't know about, I got everything under control, I figured it out. Truebill can also help you negotiate the prices of the subscriptions you have right now. So go check it out. Go try Truebill. Don't fall for subscription scams. Start canceling today at Truebill.com/LockedOnNBA. Go right now. Truebill.com/LockedOnNBA. It could save you thousands a year. Again, Truebill.com/LockedOnNBA. All right, Isaac Harris. Jason Kidd changed the starting lineup for the Dallas Mavericks once again. We've been waiting for him to do this. It seems like the 19, 20 game mark was when he decided, all right, I need to change something up about this.
How many starting lineups have we got? Do we know that?
Well, there's been some injuries, so I think that's affected things. So if you want to go, if you're looking it up based on how many times Kidd has changed it or how many times he had to change it.
I just think in total, I'd be fascinated to know that number. I mean, people probably know it by now, but it's also the testament to one of the things we kind of threw out about it on yesterday's pod of
7.
Really? Is that it?
Yeah.
I thought it'd be more. Never mind.
No, because they started that Luka, Hardaway, Dorian, Porzingis, Powell lineup for a lot. Like there's a lot, and then when Luka was out, it was Brunson instead of Luka. So that's essentially this. I'm gonna count that as the same lineup. So that's even 6 if you just want to count it as that.
Yeah.
But all they've done is they've tried, and they also did the one without Porzingis where they put in, Bullock instead of Porzingis. So they really haven't tried a lot of different iterations of the starting lineup. There's just been a couple injuries, and the Mavs have had to put different people in. But really the only change he's made was Willie Cauley-Stein for Dwight, and then Moses for Willie Cauley-Stein when he was out, and then now this one. And so this starting lineup was Luka Doncic, Kristaps Porzingis, Dorian Finney-Smith, Dwight Powell, and Reggie Bullock. Dwight Powell getting back into the lineup, and Reggie Bullock starting. What was the difference, and why do you think Kidd made a change?
Oh, man, I was shocked that he switched out Reggie for Tim. For a couple different reasons. One, I think it was pretty evident early on when they re-signed Tim. Tim was pretty happy of, getting the starting role. And that I think Jason Kidd even talked about that in the first part of the season, that, he talked with Tim about being the starter. Tim likes being the starter. He was clear about that last year. Yep. But even when he got benched last year, it was, he was so professional about it. He understood. He's like, dude, I get it. I've been in this league for a while. And so I was surprised that, 19 games in, or the 20 game mark, that switch was made, especially because Reggie Bullock shooting slump. He's at 27% from 3 going into this game. And it's like, all right. But I mean, what a confidence booster for somebody like Reggie too. Like I kind of liked it when I seen it. I kind of liked it because I'm like, you know what? That's Jason Kidd saying, I believe in you. You are not this player over these first 19 games of the season. I'm not going to bury you. I'm going to promote you and say, I want to put you into the lineup and say, I want you to start hitting shots. Like, I'm gonna give you a little confidence boost here. So now I don't know, like, if Tim starts this game, do they blow out the Pelicans? Probably, but still, this would, like, Reggie Bullock starting it had to give him some confidence. He hit a couple threes in this game, and I like that move by Jason Kidd.
And they're different threes, right? Because he's getting threes from Luka. Those threes get you paid, right? And it's even more wide open threes because of the space that Luka brings. If you guys remember, Isaac just mentioned this last year. Tim started the first. Let's see. He started the first. 18. He started the first like 17 of the first 20 games. He was out for one of them, so that one doesn't count. But he didn't start for two. But he started 17 of the first 20 games. At the 20 game mark last season, do you remember what the Mavericks record was?
No, I don't.
8-12.
Woo!
Remember, it was this awful start to the year. Porzingis hadn't really gotten going because he started the year late. The Mavericks were not playing well, and that's when Carlisle decided to change the lineup. We're doing the same thing again, except for the Mavericks' record is better this year, right?
11-9.
11-9 now. They're 8-12 last year, so it's the same script as last year. Mavericks weren't doing well. They needed to change. They decided to put Tim on the bench, and then Tim basically sat the bench until the rest of the season, until the last 8 games of the year, and then he started all the playoff games too. So are we doing the same exact thing again? I think that they needed some defense in the starting lineup. They needed a little bit. They needed those two guys, and it was against the Pelicans. The Mavericks were shooting incredibly well. Luka was on a heater. Like, there's just, you can't take a ton away from, all right, this was the answer, and this is the reason why this starting lineup worked. You can't really take a lot from this game. But if I'm going to try to guess why they made that change, it's because the bench needed some more scoring, right? Especially if Brunson's not going and Luka is off the floor. Where's offense coming from? It's just Brunson and Burke. And sometimes if Brunson's not going, then you're just sunk. And so Tim brings a little bit more offense off the bench. Bullock can bring some more defense onto the starting unit because that unit was really struggling defensively. Yeah. And then Dwight Powell, we saw what Moses Brown did, and maybe that's enough for Jason Kidd to say, well, he got destroyed by Jared Allen, and so we don't want to put him against Jonas Valanciunas. Fair, right? Like, that's a fair move by Jason Kidd. And so then he decided to put Dwight Powell in. And what they did was they had KP come over and help on Jonas a lot. Jonas was only 1 of 8 in this game, and he didn't hit any threes, even though he was the NBA's leading 3-point shooter coming into the game. But they did really well on him, and it worked.
No, you made a good point with the bench unit there. How many? I mean, we just heard, we've referenced this multiple times, but we just heard KP a few weeks ago talking about when Luka was out of, it was post game. It was, we run a pick and roll so much, with Brunson and I, if Brunson doesn't have the shot, we can't get a quick post up for me, then we're kind of just out there, just kind of standing around trying to figure it out. Well, that's basically the bench unit, right? Because they run KP with Brunson and them a decent amount. Well, now you add Tim to that bench unit. Well, now you got another option of offense where it's not just a pick and roll. If no one's there, everybody's just standing around. Now you have three points of offense with the bench unit when Luka's off the floor, because when Luka's on the floor, everything's running through Luka. So I think it's a natural thing of, hey, it's easier to put Reggie out there instead of Tim. And it's the defense factory, like you said. Like, Tim really struggles a lot on perimeter defense. And when you go against another team, if Ja was playing for Memphis on Saturday, then if Reggie was still starting, Reggie could take that, that matchup compared to, I don't know who else. Like, if Tim started tonight in place of Reggie Bullock, I guess Dorian's going to take that, but when Dwight, the thing you do lose when you take Tim off the floor in this lineup is, outside of Luka, who's handling the ball at all?
Yeah.
Because then it's Reggie, Dorian, Dwight, KP alongside Luka. You don't really have another ball handler out there. But if you have Luka out there, you can kind of get away with just running everything through him.
And they got away with a couple times when, okay, who else is going to handle the ball? The Pelicans came up and trapped Luka. The Mavericks have figured out this, the trapping Luka situation where, all right, throw someone in the middle of the floor, and then that person is the decision maker to kick out. You don't take any dribbles. Don't do anything, right?
No.
But literally turn around and hit somebody.
Luka's like literally perfect at passing out of the trap, though. It's like when a team brings that secondary guy to trap him, Luka's so brilliant that he's reading the shifts and everything in the coverage where he's going to hit the guy. So that's just the brilliance of Luka.
Absolutely. So that's how they got it done. That's the starting lineup change. Will it stick? It'll be interesting to see. The Mavericks, the next couple of games, they have The Pelicans again on Friday at home. Then the Grizzlies at home. I don't think John Morant's going to be available for that game, but the Grizzlies are still actually playing well without him. But that one is that's going to be interesting. I think they can get away with this lineup against both those teams. They just did it against the Pelicans. They're going to maybe try it again. But we'll see. We'll see what Jason Kidd wants to do if he's still experimenting. The big one, Tuesday, against the Nets. That's one where you have to try and figure something out. And I would think they would go with this lineup again, just for the sheer sake of you're playing Durant and Harden at the same time.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of time to talk about that game. We'll preview that game. We'll have the post game and everything. We do post games for every single game. Did you guys know that? Even weekends, we do all that. Coming up, let's get into the rest of this game. What else stood out to us? Everyone shot except for Eugene Amarui and Ja'Cory McLaughlin. Everyone shot over 50%. So there's positives to be had all around. We'll talk about that coming up. But before we do, let me tell you about BetOnline.ag. It's the fastest and easiest way to bet, to put down some money, to wager, to gamble, to put down money on sports. Ooh, Thursday game coming up tonight. If you're watching this on Thursday, Dallas Cowboys, New Orleans Saints. Cowboys 5-point favorite now. I'm pretty sure that went down because I think they were a 6-point favorite the other day. So if you're feeling the Dallas Cowboys, put that on. If you hate the Dallas Cowboys, which I know there are a lot of people out there, go ahead and bet against them. You can make some money off of your sports hate. Nothing wrong with that. Go ahead and try that. And if you're going to use the promo code LOCKEDON, you'll get a 50% welcome bonus with your first deposit. You put down $100, they'll give you $50 to use and to spend. All kinds of stuff on BetOnline. They don't just have football, they have basketball as well. Thursday, Bulls-Knicks. Interesting game. It's a rematch of that really good game from a week ago or so. Bulls, 2-point favorite at the Knicks. That doesn't seem like a big enough spread for them. But if you agree with me, go ahead and bet on the Bulls. Use the promo code LOCKEDON, get a 50% welcome bonus. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, Isaac Harris. We've been talking about the Mavericks versus the Pelicans game. Now let's go around, give the rest of our positives out to everybody. Who else had a good game for you?
I think it's the opposite. Who had a bad game?
Oh, you want to do that? You want to do that game?
Well, I just don't. I mean, I feel like everybody pretty much played a decent game. I mean, Dwight was 3 for 3 in this game and was a plus 14. But I mean, I just like there's so many things across the board.
I think if I had like 15 guesses, I don't think Dwight Powell was the first name you were going to say in this segment. I don't think.
I was trying to just use an example of a guy that has normally been in the target for a lot of criticism that like he didn't play that bad of a game. Reggie, we talked about Reggie a lot, but I mean, I think Jalen Brunson is the guy. I mean, especially in the first half.
He's back, baby.
Yeah. I mean, that first game, against the Cavs on Monday night, was his first game back from the injury, trying to probably get back in the groove. He looked back in it tonight. I mean, I think he had 10 points in the first quarter tonight alongside Luka. He went
7. He was 3 of 3 and hit a 3.
Okay.
So 7 points in the first quarter.
So, yeah, I mean, he finished the game with 17 points. He's 3 or 4 from 3 tonight, 7 and 9 from the field.
Banked one of those suckers in that was just laughing afterwards.
And I'm loving the new hair. I just want to throw that out there.
I think that's helped his shot.
It looks.
It's not Elfrid Payton status.
I was going to say, don't go through the Elfrid Payton conversation.
We should also mention Brunson. So you said 17 points, 3 assists, just 1 turnover for Brunson too, making it happen.
Yeah, I mean, Tim, we've talked about Tim moving to the bench, but Tim was 4 of 7 from 3 tonight. One of those was just a bomb of a 3. He was asked about it after the game. We didn't talk about this a little bit ago. He was asked about it after the game. I think as a competitor and stuff, you can tell he's not in love with the idea of coming off the bench, but he's a professional on that.
And it's really this whole thing is really interesting for Tim because he re-signed, we think, with the knowledge that he was going to be a starter. I'm pretty sure that that's true. And there was reports that he was offered a really big deal by which team?
New Orleans.
By the New Orleans Pelicans. And he gets benched against the New Orleans Pelicans, comes out and really wants to go off in this game. And you could tell that first 3 that he finally hit that just was super deep. You could tell he was really, really going for it. And it's interesting that this was the team that he would do that against and come out like really firing on all cylinders.
And you can imagine if you're Tim, you're probably like, I mean, you're not in love with the idea of coming off the bench, but if you're Tim, you're probably like, all right, I'm going to get benched against a really bad team in New Orleans. And we're probably going to beat New Orleans, but and then it might look like, okay, I was the reason that. So I can understand he could be a little frustrated. It's okay for him not to be in love with this deal. It doesn't mean that with him coming off the bench, but he's a professional. He's like, dude, I've went through this before. It's part of it, and he's gonna rock with it. Like, he's an incredible teammate for all, like, everything we've ever heard or talked about anybody. They always speak so highly of him.
Absolutely. His quote after the game I found interesting. Someone asked him about, Jason Kidd said that he had talked to Tim Hardaway. He took it like a pro and he was a professional when he said he was going to move him to the bench. And this is what Tim had to say. He said, I take it with a grain of salt and move forward. We're all professionals. I think he just wanted to switch something up. It's nothing I can't handle. I've done this before. He took it on the chin. He did that. I found it interesting. He said, I think he just wanted to switch something up. Sort of like, I didn't do anything. He just wanted to change anything. And I find that interesting. But as that's a shooter's mentality right there, right?
Well, Kidd made that point too. Kidd wanted to emphasize that point of he literally said in his postgame, he's like, Tim didn't do anything wrong.
He did the same thing with Dwight. This is the exact thing I was talking about yesterday.
Yeah, but so he just he wanted to switch something up, and he did.
And he did. And did it work? I guess.
What about Boban?
Oh, let's go.
Boban is back.
The Boban fade, one-handed, like fadeaway, just shot with it. I love it.
It needs its own name. It needs like the Bobby like the Bobby push, or I don't know, something. It needs some kind of name.
I don't know. He just looks like he's holding a softball and he's just like tossed it in, and I love it. I get so hyped.
Like what's that game at the fair where you have to throw the ball into the basket? Is it just like basketball? Toss? No, like the actual peach basket looking thing. It's like on an angle.
Oh,
that's what it looks like when Bobby is throwing the ball. Like the Boban basket toss. We need to call it something like that.
And Valanciunas, like against most players in the league, he's like
looks
this
huge.
big dude. He's huge, and Boban just it's like, hey, I'm gonna do what I want.
8 points for Boban, 4 of 5 from the field on all of them on those push shots.
What about the Moses dunk and scream?
Oh, he needed that. That was cathartic for him.
I got low-key hyped for that.
Josh Green, rebound, transition, pull up 2-point shot in the lane. I got hyped for him.
I got a text tonight that said, Coach, how would you feel about fans calling Josh Green the operator because it's good when he puts up a 4-1-1?
Someone called you coach?
No, they were like joking around.
That you were the coach?
No, that somebody would ask Jason Kidd that.
Oh, that someone would ask Kidd that?
I thought it was a good comment, but
the operator.
I don't really have anything else about this game.
You're running out.
I just
everybody played well. Luka Doncic set the tone. The Mavericks hit the threes. Everything works when the Mavericks hit their. Oh, last thing I want to say here: the Dallas Mavericks, according to Cleaning the Glass, had an offensive rating of 146. Now, the offensive rating that Cleaning the Glass does is a little different than Basketball Reference, so this may be a little different. But 146.3 offensive rating. They only took 9 free throws. If you want to know how dominant of a shooting performance this Mavericks team had, they only took 9 free throws, had an offensive rating of 143. According to Basketball Reference, this season, the highest offensive rating a team has had while taking less than 10 free throws is the Memphis Grizzlies against the Clippers a couple weeks ago, 124. The Mavericks offensive rating is 146. Insane. This is an insane shooting performance that we haven't seen so far this season from anybody while not going to the free throw line at all. Because usually those points count for your offensive rating. It boosts it, right? You get basically free points without the possession and all that kind of stuff. So if you don't have free throws, you had to shoot the ball really dang well to have an offensive rating that high.
Yeah. Can I give some shout outs?
Oh, yes. Let's go. Let's do it.
All right. So we tweeted out this morning as we started getting some tweets coming in from people sharing their screenshots from their Spotify rap and how Locked On Mavs was their top podcast. I just want to give some shout outs right now. Shout out to John Gonzalez. Shout out Rylan Stiles. Eric Miller. 4,800 minutes for Eric Miller on that. Shout out to you. We already shouted out Tubby. Gosh, 12,000 minutes. I don't even know. But Carly, 99 episodes this year for Carly.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. Thank you so much. Mavs.
Let's just do the names. You don't have to do the minutes unless it's over like 10,000.
Whatever. Mavs McGee. Alex Boyle. Shout out. Shout out to Jordan Ennis, maybe Brew Crew 21. Let's do it. MFL Indonesia. Shout out to you guys. Spike Shot, Josh Brannon. I'm gonna keep going on this. Jesse Larson. I'm gonna say that because she has her Twitter handle backwards on that. But Nettie Neto. Okay, let's go. I'm horrible at pronouncing some of these, but some of these are in different languages, so I'm really trying hard, Rip. Nicholas Erlichman, shout out to you. Jonathan Brumps. Some of you have already turned off the podcast by now, but it's okay. This is why we put it at the end and not the beginning. Shout out to Thomas Ray. Nick wouldn't let me do this at the beginning. TA_MFFL. You don't even have a name. It's just T on Twitter. Spencer Edwards. We literally could go all day on this. Jacob Nelson. Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to Rishav R. I don't even know if I did that right. Shout out to Matthew. Matthew's an OG listener. Shout out to James Gonzalez. Stephen Russell. Nick is wanting to cut this off by now. Shout out to @Positive Legs.
Can't have the negative legs.
Yeah. Shout out to Rakta Karta.
Yeah.
Let's go. Shout out to Thomas Genta. Shout out to Man on the Street. Let's go. Daniel Carrasco. Shout out to you. Shout out to Wade Ledbetter. Shout out to Haley. I think Haley. Okay. Shout out to everybody who responded to Haley's tweet asking for Mavs podcast.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So many replies about Locked On Mavs.
That's always my favorite. Someone goes, "Hey, do you guys know any Mavs podcasts?" And there's a million people that say Locked On Mavs. It's my favorite. I love that.
It's amazing.
The Raccoon Squad coming out strong.
Shout
What do
out
you think
to-
was more annoying in that segment? You just reading names or me hitting the ding every single time?
Well, you know what's not annoying? You interrupting this list because I'm still going.
You're not no.
No. Shout out to All Things Mavs. Shout out to
Jimmy.
Mario. Shout out to Jolly Span Mavs Man. Shout out to Bates. My man Bates. Shout out to Hunter Coleman.
Yeah.
Shout out to Osaka Mommy.
Naomi?
No, don't know.
Oh.
Shout out to JB13PR. Shout out to Maston of Puppets.
Master of Puppets?
I don't know. Shout out to Lucas 721883848. Shout out to Zach. Shout out to GNBRKR. Shout out to Seth on Sports Just 30 podcast. Shout out to Aaron Wilson. Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, how many you got? Let's do it.
That's it.
Oh, there you go.
That's it for the Locked On Mavs Twitter. I know some of you guys tweeted at just myself or just Nick or just
Those
us
are just
two.
the ones at Locked On Mavs?
Those are just at Locked On Mavs. So
That's
there's some
insane.
other ones in some DMs and stuff. I'm sorry if I didn't get to you, but thank you.
Thank you guys for listening to the show. I'm sure we'll do a lot more of those, but thank you to everybody that's listening to Locked On Mavs.
No
Subscribe
one's
to the
listening by now.
Nah, everyone's gone by now. Appreciate anybody that's still listening to this. You're a real one. Thanks for making Locked On Mavs your first listen every single day. We'll be back tomorrow with more about this Mavericks team, what threes mean for this Mavericks team. Now make your second listen Locked On Fantasy Basketball with Josh Lloyd. He hosts the #1 daily fantasy basketball show on the planet, the Aussie. Killing it over there. It's free and available on all platforms. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom!